By watching the trailer, you already can tell who's the culprit, the most sus-looking character. Why did they have to make him look so ugly? It makes it really obvious. If he was just an average Joe, it would be more unexpected. Even the Rumi character looks like Sid from Ice Age. I think it's a weird coincidence. My friend suddenly called me Cham the other day. Then it was either that day or one day after that where I googled more Japanese animated movies. Then this one was the one people recommended, and then when I read the Wikipedia I saw, it's also called Cham. But it was only halfway through the movie I realized, oh yeah, Cham, Wham, George Michael, you know. The movie came out in 1997 but it feels so 1981. But I really dig the animation. It looks very old school and cool, and oddly creepy. When the characters are in dark places and their eyes are the only bright white light, it looks even creepier. When that particular scene came out, I was like, okay, this is totally not for children. And as the movie progresses, even more things are not for children. Not only does she need to worry about a stalker, but the ghost of her former self is also even more terrifying. Especially if she can bunny hop at such a far distance to catch you. Something about that just makes it even creepier, because it feels like not human. All the way through, this movie was entertaining. It keeps you at the edge, and even the tone of the musical instruments is also very creepy. Like, you know, the type of synth sound they use. I'm not talking about the musical notes they use, because, you know, if you use a tritone, that'll be creepy, but it's just the sound of it is already creepy. Mixed with this old school animation, it just gives you that weird vibe. This movie was a real mind freak. You don't know what's real or not. Even if her former self attacks her, it all feels so real. We feel sorry for the character because she doesn't deserve it, and you also can feel the fear with her. It could easily be a 2-hour movie, but I'm glad it was short and sweet. It manages to tell a lot and says what it wants to say without being over-bloated. With the short time it has, it really outdid itself. At the first 20 minutes of this movie, I was kind of doubting it a bit. But very quickly, it took a real dark turn and it really proved itself. At one point, you have to stop wondering if it's real or a dream, and you have to just go along with the movie and find out what really happens. It felt average at first, but later it really elevated itself. This one might scar or traumatize some people. The characters are also unintentionally creepy with their big eyes and just blank stare. It was also smart to link the movie she was acting in was also similar to her own fading reality. I keep thinking things like, was she going to be the killer? Is the stalker guy going to act out what happens in the script in real life? Will she try to end herself? Will she go crazy? So many questions as you watch the movie. Only the main bad guy and girl were kind of ugly, but I can live with that. And it seems like a lot of people were also confused with this movie. But upon watching videos analyzing this movie, it really makes it even more impressive. The whole psychosis, mental disorder, former self thing, it's all very interesting. And it turns out Rumi was the delusional one. It makes so much sense now. You know how I said, why did they make that guy look so ugly? It makes it look so obvious. It turns out he's the one that later got killed, when the whole movie was trying to frame him as the bad guy. Then I said, if it was just an average Joe, it would be unexpected. But Rumi was not an average Joe. She looked kind of ugly, but I totally didn't expect she was the crazy one. Then that was unexpected, because the whole movie she was framed as being the good guy, trying to help her. So that's one of the ways the movie freaks with your mind. And it's a very smart move. So overall, the animation has cool old vibes, the music is top notch. This movie managed to spook me. It's very, very good and also has a great length. But when I finished watching, I was like, this is definitely a 10 out of 10, but I'm kind of scared to call it a masterpiece, which makes me feel a little bit weird and uneasy. When I finished watching this movie, I was like, wow, that was really, really good. I didn't expect that. I think I'm still trying to process how deep and dark and scary it actually is. But as I'm making this video, I'm starting to think it really is. With the short time it has, it managed to say so much, and it really leaves you wondering and guessing. I heard in the final line, it was actually the voice actor of Rumi saying that line. Then it opens up a whole new discussion. Who is really the crazy one here? It's up to you to decide, you know? Yeah, so I'm scared to call this a masterpiece, but after saying all of those points, I realize it really is. So this one, Perfect Blue. This one is a masterpiece. This one is 10 out of 10.